Extremely optimistic from Benjaz.
Yeah, he didn't run down. It was right to do so. I think he scouted out the fact that the CK was there, but the Sunstrike from Ana will hit the money. Hilariously enough, Acel started his own TP and left the Troll Warlord alone on the top. He went all the way back to the fountain and just abandoned his teammate. I don't think that's what he could have done to stop it.
I'm not going with you in this, man. You're on your own.
They both had TP, but the problem was Tuskar was holding his snowball.
Yeah.
So you couldn't use it.
That's a bit of a mistake there from Benjaz. He forced a big rotation, but it's still worth it for OG to get a core kill. If that was a support that they TP 2 or 3 heroes in to kill there, I think that would have been worth it for the Infamous side. But losing Troll is big on mid lane.
Tomato. Mid. Notel sets up the 1 second stun. It might be enough as well. Tomato starts his TP out. Cancelled very, very quickly. Destroyed by Ana's Sunstrike, and they're wanting more. The crit destroys the Lich. Finally, Nightstalker will hit the ground. Stunned up by the Earth Brewing. Have they got a little bit more? Notel Reality Rift. Give the negative armor, and the stun is there. Nightstalker will fall. He cannot reach the safety of the high ground. And once more, OG take a fight and push it to the town. I'm fairly certain Fly is already up.
What should I buy? I'm getting rich, man. What to do? I've got like 400 gold.
He's got 2 kills, 1 death, and 6 assists.
Another great play.
He's got more than enough.
It's pretty much the same play they just made before. They made kind of the exact same move. Well, a little bit different on the initiation order, but using the same abilities to the same effect, getting multiple kills and then a tower. They can kind of rinse and repeat this until Infamous start getting their team fight up and running. They need the 6 on Lich, they need the Shaker to get his Blink Dagger, and I think that's enough. Then they have a response. But right now their lineup is very slow and they can't really activate their Viper very well. So OG are starting to build a very big advantage.
Yeah, that gold graph is now stretched around 4K and increasing. The experience is a lot closer, however. Remember, the gold graph is getting its spikes because of the death of those 3 tier 1 towers and the fact that Infamous have claimed none themselves. So the money is looking good for OG. But there's still a lot coming out the Infamous lanes. They're not keeping Troll Warlord at the #1 net worth just by sheer luck. He's building into that Mask of Madness, and then we can see if Infamous can find critical objectives across the map. And I'm wondering if that actually comes through kills, or does it actually come through forcing buildings, using that Troll Warlord's attack speed in combination with the Viper?
I think you have to wait. That's the most important thing for Infamous. You have to delay the game without losing too many heroes. So you're not in fighting shape right now with your lineup. You can try to find a skirmish here there, maybe with a Nightstalker, but realistically, they're just not online yet. So keep getting the farm in, keep getting the wards out, keep your heroes safe, build toward the BKB. The BKB is the name of the game in this one. It's the best item against OG's lineup. It's like extremely good against both Brewmaster and Invoker. It is an absolute mandatory item on every core on the Radiant side at some point eventually. Shaker's probably going to get it like 3rd or 4th item, but the other heroes have to get it. Like PPD pointed out, you can't play against Brewmaster without BKB in your cores. Like, you're just going to get cycloned.
Yeah.
He cyclones one, stuns the other, and the CK goes on the other guy. And like, what's your save? Infamous don't have saves. They have Fissure.
Yeah, they
not reliable.
They have the turnaround of the fight from the Earthshaker.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen until he has the Blink Dagger.
Exactly.
As well as some decent levels. He's gone for a 2-1-2-1 build. So the Echo Slam doesn't do anywhere near enough damage at the moment until he's got more points up in the Aftershock.
We're going to see a tower trade here as it looks. OG will happily trade their tier 1 top for a tier 2 bottom. This tower top is extremely difficult to defend and fairly unimportant compared to other things on the map. And if OG get this bottom tier 2, they claim a way more important objective. Looks like it's not really possible. Notail is looking into it, but doesn't want to commit his Phantasm.
Yeah, it's so much to commit. They've been looking to use the Phantasm in every single fight. And with Infamous gaining items, maybe that use of the Phantasm is something OG doesn't want to do. It will feel like a window of opportunity for Infamous.
Maybe it feels like they can get it anyway. I mean, at this rate, they can. He's tanking the tower for an eternity by dropping to half health and then popping a regen rune.
Yeah, it's the never-ending life of Notail.
He tanked the tower for like 30 seconds.
And now he's got enough money to finish up the entire armlet too.
Yep, it's going to come out. We've seen Chaos Knights of the past often go for Midas.
Firax, Shards just pushing Tomato up. He can't actually move back down again. The trees block his path. And I thought for a moment he's going to roll in with Fly, but that would have put Fly on the front lines. He needed a different hero to be with the Dazzle.
So how are we looking now for Infamous? I'm keeping a close eye on King Tekka because I think this Blink Dagger is what's going to change the flow of the game. Either they're going to find 1 or 2 successful fights, or they're going to
fight on top.
Such a big deficit that it gets difficult.
Oh, they're pushing to the left. I thought for a moment they would actually properly commit onto Ana. The Observer didn't reveal anything, but at the same time, their vision hadn't seen anybody else until Jirax walks underneath the defensive Observer ward on the northern Shrine of Radiant.
This is also one of the big benefits of the wards OG got out. They have really good coverage around mid. So first of all, they see some of the more common smoke positions. Often you would smoke behind your tier 2 mid, or between the top tier 2 and the mid tier 2, you would smoke in that area and start moving out. So OG, with this aggressive warding, they have a pretty good read on when multiple heroes are missing, and then they can counterplay pretty easily.
Nice soccer, found one.
Really awkward spot.
He took to Flight, able to see Flight. Tomato's going to come over. S4 might do enough. Dazzle, Shallow Grave at the very end, and then throws down the weave, the Sunstrike right on the money. Tomato takes so much damage, and Fly, he will still go down to the Viper corrosive skin, but Matthew trapped in the trees. You did all of that to kill off the support Dazzle, and nice.
You're right back.
It'll take about 10 more seconds.
At the very least for Infamous there, they forced the Bruce Split, but I still think if you're OG, you're happy with this because you killed the Viper. A big core in the game. Of course, like you said, the Troll Warlord is finding a lot of farm, and we'll be reaching a point that it gets very interesting. But the question is, can Infamous actually hold heroes in place with deal damage, and can he survive?
Ball forward, OG can hold him in position, flip him like an omelet, and the Echo Slam! King Tekka arrives, Tusker won't go down, now the Lich Holding bounces forward, killing off Jirax. It's trapped between Fly and Anna, some decent damage, and it forced them away from the Brewmaster. Revealed out, the Shallow Grave still there, starts the TP, where's the stun, where's the control, where's the damage, where's the kill?
Oh, he bought a Fairy Fire. He bought and used the Fairy Fire. I actually don't think he needed it, but that was such a good play under pressure there by S4. It's great foresight by him. Stays alive. They didn't have any stun, like you said, and that's the Blink Dagger reveal from King Tekka. He got a really good echo. That's easily 2 or 3 kills if his team is able to connect, but they end up only getting the 1. And it wasn't Jirax. It was 1 support they found.
Yeah, and you lost your troll for it.
Yep. OG are
double
looking
damage
toward Roshan.
Double damage rune on a Chaos Knight. You've got the damage. You may not have the sustain, however.
He heals a lot from critting. He heals a lot from critting when he has this double damage. Let's see if he gets a crit now, how much he heals.
I suppose with the double negative armor too, you got it from Reality Rift as well as from the Medallion of Courage.
Yeah, he heals a good 200 every crit. Now he's going to get Alacrity as well. It's like borderline disgusting, actually. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if they have the sustain, Toby. They did.
You don't have to have sustainability. It takes you 10 seconds to kill Roshan.
Nice play by OG to snipe that. Knowing that Infamous weren't really in a position to go contest. There was no darkness, no nighttime, so Night Stalker was glorified melee creep.
And no Echo Slam.
A bit more than that, maybe. But yeah, no Echo.
Not even Chain Frost. Even though like all those things did work really nicely for Infamous. Like you looked at the fight, and in fact we can have a look at it again. So S4 all the way back to base, and just safety first Fairy Fire trigger. Make sure there is no chance. And I don't know if Jirax is watching that or if he's just having a giggle at the lines they spammed out after.
That's a good question. Jirax, top lane? Oh, this is intimidation tactics. He's completely alone. He's basically mind gaming him here.
Yeah, but he's got the vision. Like they have an aggressive Dire Observe ward. He knows he's up against 4 heroes, but he also knows they're so far away that they can't initiate on them straight away. So what do? You just kind of knock on the door, bring the attention of all 4 heroes to you, and then just disappear.
I really like this play in general.
Oh, Jirax. Okay, hang on.
He's snowballing a creep.
Is he?
Yo.
Is he actually?
Wait, what?
He's going after the Viper. Doesn't have the range for it, and Viper gonna 4-star forward. Jirax has no save here. Shards himself on the hill. They don't see him, but the fissure from King Tekka.
All right, he's just batshit crazy, man. What was that? What was that snowball?
He wouldn't have even survived the TP home. Like, even if the fissure didn't connect, he would have died from just the dot effects from Viper.
It's the mental game, though. I think that what he's trying to accomplish is to get a read on what's happening, like seeing multiple Infamous heroes or getting them scared, just getting into their heads. What I was going to say was I like this play from a support. I think I want to kind of say it was Lanham that really pioneered it at TI6, where he would play Ogre, and he would just go to the opposite side of the map where no one was, and he would just go AFK push there as Ogre until somebody came to kill him. And he was like, okay, you just came to kill an Ogre, and I killed 4 creep waves, and I don't really care. You know, I'm going to respawn, my team's farming, great.
Space is being created right now. Sunstrike, Night Stalker, that was confidence. TPing on top of the tier 2 tower, loses his life instantly. Chaos Knight's Elite's a little bit trapped, but it's Armlet and Aegis. And bottle charges. Nortel back up to 1/3 of his life. And doing a light show from everyone at home. Chirac should find some common sense.
It's really nice to hear that interview from Fly before the game. It's like, you know, it's like you need to release, you need to not worry too much about the game. You just need to play it like every other game.
It would have been very easy to also worry about the Infamous team. Infamous is no mugs. Yeah, they didn't have a great result in the group stage, but it's the underdog factor. You understand they can lose. And OG should understand that better than anybody else. Losing to both MVP and TNC, the teams highlighted in last TI, the fact that these guys were considered the underdogs against OG. Major winners, 4-time major winners, and OG, their Achilles heel is the big one. It's still TI. They need a good performance. And this confidence is going to help them, and especially this kill is going to help them on their way. Only 1 second stun, but no tell.
Oh, nice.
4-star over the hill, but the shards, it doesn't hold him, but the snowball will stop him for a moment. Walrus punch up, and they pull Tomato up. Matthew wants to help out. 2 seconds stun over on the Viper. He's just spending his money knowing this Brewmaster ulti is down. There's way too much control for him to survive. No-Tell will be lucky. Fly has to self-grave to stay alive, and a cell trapped in by the shards. Jirax and S4 teaming up perfectly. Lich just wants to get to high ground into safety, but the shards just last for way too bloody long. Can't reach the tier 3 tower, and OG will achieve that for him, taking the tier 2 and pushing with this fresh Phantasm of No-Tell. Even without Armlet, he's got 2.1k gold. And if that hard ever gets completed, Infamous just won't have the damage.
This could actually be Rax almost. They have an Alacrity Siege creep. That is...
They're going to fight.
It's pretty extreme.
They have to fight. The BKB's on the Troll. Lich is back to the world of living. Viper can TP herself to the front line. Jirax, Anna starting their TP out. The Fissure canceling the one on the Tusker. No-Tell turns around, so does Anna. All right, if you want to fight, they will happily to oblige. The EMP burn is perfect, but the BKB out from Benjaz. No-Tell likely to lose his life, or at least just the Aegis trapped inside the base. And OG, they are not coming to help him. They're standing their ground up on the high ground, well away from No-Tell. They'll let him die. It took a decent amount to get it. Infamous, of course, they want more. TP forward towards the shrine. They've already managed to catch up to Fly. Jirax as well, trapped inside the camp. The Fissure will connect. Someone needs to reach him. Tomato navigating. Jirax couldn't push himself uphill this time. OG lose 4 heroes. They do take the tier 3 tower, but look at that line from Infamous. Mid, push.
Go end. Got them, guys. Let's just get the whole mid lane. So I think OG stuck around because they had a feeling that this barracks would fall, and they were so close. The siege creep needed one more hit. Alacrity siege creep is quite something. Like, I'm not sure if you were paying attention to it, but it's like 10-shotting the barracks, and it has pretty good attack speed. The ice armor was the saving grace for their melee racks there, and the fact that OG didn't full commit. They could have full committed and guaranteed that racks, but at the end of the day, they like tried to half and half, and they got nothing. They got the tower, but they paid 4 heroes for it. That was...
Defense is coming to mid. No-Tell's doing the old wraparound. Comes in, Reality Rip to start with. Chaos only 2 seconds on over on the Viper. The Echo Slam from King Tekka, trying to create space. Sunstrike making it difficult for Benjaz, but he's just beating into No-Tell. The shallow grave is too much, and Benjaz trapped in an icy grave. Chaos Knight will survive. The heel kicks through. A cell will fall down. Infamous thought they had a little bit of momentum, but OG, it was crocodile tears. You thought they were bleeding from the eyes, but OG, and now they're gonna make the Infamous Rax bleed.
Shallow Grave is super good with armlet heroes. No-Till just healed a full 500 when the Grave expired. He just retoggled his armlet, and they couldn't bring him down.
Now
they committed so much, now they have nothing. It looked like a good Echo Slime. You know, you're tempted to go in for that Echo. There's Chaos Knight using Phantasm. They didn't have the combo. No Chain Frost was available. The Viper couldn't really connect very well. It was just Shaker and Troll against the World, and they don't win that. That's a win for World, I think.
And again, another time when like Troll was in that position where he was forced to fight, like when No-Tell wrapped around the side, he fought on top of the ramp, but right on the corner of it. So the shards, Jirax had a huge option there just to lock him in. It's an old block spot, and Jirax hit the money load on the shards.
He's playing very well in Tusk. Apart from that weird snowball, it's been a great game. His shards have been pretty much perfect every single play, which is nice to see because I feel like Tusk is a hit or miss hero a lot of the times, and a lot of the players in this tournament have been, it's been like mixed success with how good the shards have been, but Jirax is showing great individual skill on this hero. Now Chaos Knight almost has a heart too. It's 24 minutes in. He is big,
and he's just about to pick up an Arcane Rune as Infamous try and finish the tier 1 tower. I say try, they'll actually succeed. And is this a smoke time? What's coming out the courier? They've got a smoke over on Lich, but there's an observer ward inside the base. There's an observer ward on the north. So OG will understand that Infamous are all outside of their home. The question is how far?
Yeah.
And in fact, it's OG who group up a smoke on fly, so they could do exactly the same thing if they desired. And it looks like Infamous will not smoke up. OG together.
They want to wait for their echo. It's actually just come online, so they could look for it now. They're going to have darkness in 25, so that would be a good timing. If you smoke now, they're going to connect. But this warding from OG, this aggressive warding, is paying a lot of dividends. They have so much information to go on. They can play very aggressively in the bottom area. They're seeing heroes constantly crossing through this top ward.
This could be the first thing to work for Infamous, and they may have just caught the glimpse of it. The Observer Ward, I believe, was looking at Ana when the smoke went, so Infamous might be aware of this. But so far, King Tekka is not acting like he is. Okay, yeah, Blink TP now, he's acting like he's aware.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
And OG
Shrine is going to fall now. Yeah.
Nothing they can do about this.
This is a 20 armor, 3.5 hero minute 26 with a Dazzle behind him. This Chaos Knight is very hard to kill, actually. There's two items right now that I think are very interesting for No-Tail. One is a BKB, and the other one I think Eternal Enemy would love me to say this, but could be a pipe, at least for his team. He's actually, like, how are they going to kill this hero?
Well, you can always...
They have so much magical damage on the Radiant side. That's the only thing that's going to kill him. He can pipe himself in his illusions. Either him or the Brewmaster could get it, for example.
Well, Jirax could actually pick it up as opposed to building an Aghanim Scepter, which he currently has in his quick buy.
Yeah, I could see it on Tusk as well. Like, just anyone. A pipe for their lineup would be very good for securing and ending this game, and then the Chaos Knight going for BKB is going to make him, like, almost impossible for the Radiant lineup to deal with. Both options seem very good to me. This time, No-Tail's holding onto the double damage, which indicates they want to go high ground. Else he would be using it for this Roche, so we're going to see a mid-push probably coming in next.
Tomato.
Infamous are looking for this opportunity to spawn.
Jirax again was just muscling the mid lane down, but you know that Roshan's done. OG are coming. The cheese is on the Chaos Knight. Aegis Immortal is in the hands of the Invoker.
They feel like Chaos Knight can't die anyway. They're going to assume that he's going to get graved, and then when he gets graved at 0 health, he can armlet toggle and cheese, and that's basically an Aegis. And then Ana has the real Aegis, if you will. All right, there comes the Phantasm. No-Tail's trying to split and go bottom. They actually saw those illusions, so they know Phantasm is used for whatever they want to use that for.
Is to push mid. Chaos Knight now
Damn, he is hard on them.
186 plus 155 from Chaos Knight. Onto the tower, and that's a tower with frost armor that he's beating into, and hasn't even triggered his double damage rune yet. The Phantasms do a little bit of chip damage, rotate in through the bottom, more doing scouting than anything else, and Fly just hit the negative armor load. He got it on both Benjaz and Tomato, that aggressive weave. So they initiate it on the Viper. A quick force-up gets him away to safety. They're going back to the tier 4 towers. Now with the Lich Chain Frost bouncing through the creep wave. It looks like the Brewlings don't even give a crap about it. They just tank the entire thing. Another good chance locking in Tomato. He knows he has to try and get out there and fight, but any chip damage into No-Tail can just be repaired by that Heart of His. So Ana stands his ground, killing off the melee racks. 2 more hits, 1 more, there she goes. The melee racks is down, but King Tekka on the back lines. He's found the Echo Slam. They've killed off the Saving Grace. They've killed off the Dazzle. The question is, how much more can they get? Matthews here. No-Tail wants him, a 3-second stun. The Shans are nice, but then again, no! It keeps Ana out of the fight. They have to turn back over to King Tekka. Jirax able to do that with his Blink Dagger. The Benjaz now to the front lines too. They find another. The silence onto Ana. OG, why are these pushes so costly? Once again, they have claimed a mid-racks, but how many heroes do you have to lose for it? No-Tail back into the fight, still has cheese. Ana up and towards the air. He doesn't have that extra life. Tomato can finally bring him down. He'll get money, but the question is, can he live? Without your life, money's not worth a hell of a lot. No-Tail wants to fight harder. He may have to burn the cheese if he wants to have his stun as well as disable, but the TP out is perfect. All the way home to tell his kids of the tale.
It's still 2 full lanes, minute 28, so very, very good for OG with this. You're right, they could have maybe cut some casualties there if they played that a little bit sharper, but they have a lot of space to give away right now. 12k lead, 29-minute double racks, as we said, and it doesn't feel like Infamous are reaching a point now where it starts to get scary for OG. Even this Chaos Knight system, they can't deal with him at all, and the Brewmaster's just creating space for him. The problem in this kind of fight is Chaos Knight pops Phantasm, you blink in the Brew and you use Brew Split, and you just control arbitrary heroes in the fight, and you just take down towers. Like, how is Infamous supposed to fight this? They don't have the damage. They've got to find a way. I think this approach that they had to that fight was really good. Find the back line, kill the Dazzle, try to get the Tusk out so the saves are down, and then you can fight the course. It just takes so damn long that they already lost their racks by the time they killed the Dazzle.
They're trying to find the damage. At least Benjaz has it. He's the only one that kind of does.
Went Maelstrom out.
Yeah, he needed it to also just help clear the waves as they came towards the base.
I think this is actually the best item he can buy, and this is not a very common item on Troll.
Okay, Nortel.
Just got to go for it.
Sure, have another double damage rune. It's on the house right now. He's going to push him with Alacrity and DD. They only have one more lane of ranked OG before they force the Megas, but the better thing is Benjaz caught out. S4 is here, so is the Tuskar Snowball. They punch him, they flip him. 17 HP. Someone finished the job. Will be Ana with the last attack as he juggles the balls in victory.
He has buyback on the Troll, which will most definitely be forced here. 15 seconds on Phantasm. There's no way they hold this without buying back their Troll. He's got to buy back.
He really did not want to have to do this, but there is no choice, as you said. Echo Slam from King Tekka has to be perfect, and right now he's just trying to defend the top lane, keeping the CK illusions out. But the real Nortel pushing him through the bottom, slowly getting Vipered up. He does have that cheese, remember. A little bit easier when you're running the armlet toggle to get back up and stay alive. Alacrity buff up once more. But the slow is a real pain. But so are his illusions. They've already pushed the creep wave through the top lane. The tier 4 towers will come under attack. Luckily, they regenerate. Your bottom racks won't. All the life on the tier 3 tower on bottom.
Notail's just patiently waiting here for the wave to reach. They want to get some vision in the Radiant base so that they can jump with their Brewmaster. Doesn't seem like they have a ward available. Actually, Fly does have a ward.
Are they really going to try and come? Defensive Observer one. There's a nice aggressive one from Infamous. Nortel, the creep wave's coming in. There should be some good damage if you want to Echo Slam it, but they fissure for now. Tornado trying to create space from Ana, and it did exactly that job. Nortel, Reality, just losing the range on Viper.
He's trying to bait the BKB from Tomato. That's what he wants. This 10-second BKB.
Oh, there's Reality Rift. They go on Benjaz. They get the BKB out of him, and now the initiation has to happen. The Echo Slam on the backlines. Fly will die again. King Tekka hits the right, the money. Can they get both supports? Tomato's doing the work against Ana. Yule Scepter protected for the moment. Up and towards the end. The Lich only hasn't done enough work as King Tekka and Matthew, they're still just trying to chase the support kill. They're going to find Tuskar in the tree. Matthew will bring him down, but it took so damn long. The Nortel could get back in and kill off the Earthshaker, leaving Tomato stranded. Hurricane Pike trying to create space, but the real CK is on the money. 1 minute without both the Troll and the Viper. S4 looking to actually make that even better, trying to kill off this Night Stalker. Ana joining the fight. The Shrine will give Matthew a little bit more life. Colsnap making it difficult to run away. He's underneath the tier 4 tower. Reality Rift, Nortel kills him under that tier 4 tower. As Cell, the sole survivor. Good luck, Lich.
It's gonna need to be 6 slotted to defend this, I think.
Are you talking to Lich?
Yeah.
Yep, maybe.
It's some very specific items. I'm not sure they exist.
Veil and Dagon level 5, so at least he can nuke somebody. Scythe to keep everyone else away, and an Aghanim Scepter. that may be enough. But yeah, it's way too much to repel. OG, very convincing. And again, methodical killing of the team that plays bottom in both of the groups.
OG looked pretty good in this. I think there were a couple of times they overstepped their boundaries a bit that they need to be careful with against the better teams, but that was very convincing. I like their strategy. I like the way they put their lanes. I like the way they combined their spells and look for the right moments. It's something you can really tell in some of OG's games is that they have this very good foresight, and something S4 especially is extremely good at is warning his team of what he wants to happen in 30 seconds. So like, I'm about to be 6, rotate bottom with the smoke, we make this play, they're going to do this, we do that. 3-step model, excellent plays overall. Maybe the most convincing win of the day, I guess that was.
Be next to it, I think Team Secret versus Execration
Secret Execration
be up there.
Pretty one-sided.
And that's the sad side. Like Execration as well as Infamous, they were both the bottoms of the group. They they weren't the bottoms because they got through to the main event, which is still a big thing for Infamous to achieve. So they have managed to play here on the main stage, but OG, they break the curse. They win a game here on the main stage. It was a best of 1. The next test is going to be very challenging as well. The lower bracket round 2 matchup.
And the thing you obviously have to remember when it comes to a team like OG, this is one of their, I don't want to call it pocket strategy, but this is some of their trademark heroes that they haven't really run too much in this tournament. There's been a couple of blue games on different positions, but it's a best of 1. You need to bring out something that you're very confident in. So there's a little bit more tape on OG now for the next teams to use, and of course they showed some of their a little bit older stuff that just still works very well.
Well, the old is still good, and OG will be the winner, advancing through to lower bracket round 2. We have one more game tonight.
Although an incredible heartbreak for the members of Team Infamous being eliminated, OG is finally able to take one step forward at the TI main event. They will still have to do a best of 3 after this, where they will be up against the loser of tomorrow's match between LFY and TNC. That said, in terms of gameplay, OG looked good. Oh my God, they looked good, man. They were clean. They seemed relaxed. Fly kept asking if anyone could buy a courier throughout the game.
I think they just played very good around the Panda ulti. Like every time he had an ultimate, they went and took a team fight. They won the team fight, and the only time that they actually lost a fight was when he didn't have the ultimate. So if they were sticking around for a bit too long, then that was the times where they actually died.
They also drafted very well against the Viper. Viper was pretty much a non-factor the entire game. He got dual laned mid. Tusk constantly put pressure on them, and CK versus Viper is a big mismatch. He didn't have Mjolnir or Maelstrom any time in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the Chaos Nate was able to get the Heart of Tarask so early, I should say at all, because frankly, once Chaos Knight gets the heart, he is so hard to kill unless you have the right heroes, unless you have a Sven, unless you have someone who can take down that number of illusions. And it just seemed hopeless at that point.
I really think that Lich shouldn't have been on the safe lane. Like, he didn't really stop S4 from getting farm and levels, and having a Lich there who can't really transition into making something more useful, like later on in the game, I don't know. I don't really understand why they put him here in there instead of having him on the offlane maybe to keep the CK down a bit.
But OG just did a brilliant job of exploiting all the weakness that they saw. And it is absolutely thrilling now for Team OG to be able to talk about their win. Casey's with no tail right now. How's he doing, Casey?
He's doing well. I think he sat down and I said, great game. He's like, yeah, I know. How does it feel to get that game out of the way, to get a win on the main stage of TI, 1 down?
I'm not very used to winning at TI, so it feels good. It's okay. Oh, it feels good. Best of 1s are scary. It's definitely a huge step for us in this tournament. We had a couple of mishaps. We were close to getting where we maybe wanted to be in terms of group stage, but we didn't. And we dealt with the first consequence. Now we have a lot more coming our way, but we're ready.
And you get to prove yourself, or try to prove yourself, at least in a best of 3 coming up. It's either going to be TNC, who I know you faced last year, lost to last year, or LFY, which is coming in very strong this year. Which team, if you had your choice, would you rather face?
I'm fine with either. I have respect for all the teams here. I don't care who comes in our way, but we're just there to do our best to play good Dota and defeat opponents.
We talked to Fly earlier, and I know we talked to you last year about the idea of coming in with a lot of pressure on your backs versus coming in and maybe not having that level of expectation. Both of you have said that that might have been really tough for you guys last year, coming out of group stage #1 in TI6. You actually came in out of your group stage #5. Do you think maybe, I'm going to put a positive spin on that, do you think maybe that might be the way to change the mentality and change the approach and change your luck at TI?
I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what makes you able to be a dominant team, to be consistently winning. I just try to, become that team. Like, there's no I in team, but this is my personal goal, is to be the most dominant, or be part of the most dominant Dota team. I don't have the answer to like how you come into TI and you're gonna as a favorite and then still win. I think it's incredibly hard. A lot of things don't go your way, and a lot of things are against you. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know.
Do you, as an observer, it looks as though you guys feel a sense of calm together. The way that you're playing, the way that you're interacting together, does it feel different, the way that it looks different compared to when we've seen you with different team members in the past?
To be honest with you, again, I don't know how things might even look from the outside. From the inside, we're dealing with a lot of things. There's a lot of pressure at this tournament. But next to that, there's a million other things. Like, it's a team game. It's an incredibly complex game. Yeah, I mean, just a million things going through my head all day, every day. It's, yeah, It's even hard to answer questions. I completely forgot the question
It's
already.
okay. I know that we get you right after you've been trying to play for your life out there. One last question, very briefly. I'm supposed to toss it back, but I have to ask you, what do you want to say to Infamous? Because we talked to Tomato earlier. He spoke with such great respect about you guys and some of the other teams, about what it meant to them to be able to just get up there on the main stage and prove themselves against you guys. You have to remember what that was like.
Yeah, yes, of course. I mean, mutual respect. Anybody that comes and comes to TI, makes it to TI, deserve a huge amount of respect for what they can accomplish. Dota, at the stage as it is right now, is unbelievably competitive, unbelievably high level. Making it here is a huge achievement in itself, and of course, it's a tough loss. Best of one. I mean, don't give up. Don't give up.
Notel, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, and it's good to see you guys, and we'll chat with you again soon. Machine, over to you.
I don't think I could have said it better myself, Notel. That is exactly what I think Tomato wanted to hear, and I think the audience definitely agrees. Don't give up, best of one, and getting to the main stage. I mean, I don't need to tell you, that is an achievement in itself.
Yeah, this whole experience coming to TI for first time, South America, Peru, it's amazing. Like, we lost, but I'm still happy because I play main stage. And we tried our best. We studied OG last night. They did better because they're the better team, but we're happy about it.
Your first time in the US, your first time on a stage like this, and yet you get to play your game. You know, you get that interview with Casey, everyone's like loving Tomato, they're gonna wanna see what Tomato's doing next. What's Infamous doing next?
We're gonna talk, like, we're super proud of what happened now, but sometimes people change their minds after a tournament or something, so like, we're just gonna talk about it.
So you'll have your talk, and I mean, after that, of course, another week of Dota. I imagine you're sticking around and watching your favorite video game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a TI fan. I watch every TI. I'm just gonna be on my suit and watch the TI. That's it. It's awesome.
Get to see it from the stands. It is quite, I mean, I was asking you before we went on, is it scary? Later on, I have to walk out on that stage. What is it like? Give me some tips.
Oh, good luck, man. I mean, just don't focus on the crowd. Okay. Pretend they don't exist. You're just walking and looking like you're the best. Yeah, that's it.
Act like I'm the best.
Yeah, you're just walking. Like, everyone's looking at you, and you're the best.
Well, Tomato with some swagger and a big win. Dude, you've taken wins off IG.V, a full series, in fact. You've taken wins off Secret. You played against OG on a stage like that, and I'm sure we'll see much more of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tomato from Infamous is leaving the tournament now. Let's give him one last goodbye.
Thank you, Tomato, and thank you, Infamous, for showcasing games. And of course, congratulations to OG for advancing on. I mean, OG might be one of the favorites for many people at this tournament, but Infamous has won a whole slew of fans. But let's not forget that OG is a favorite for a big reason. Their coordination and strategy is just unbelievable. And to talk a little bit about specifically the off-lane coach, Purge, the #1 coach in Dota, the legend himself.
Maybe for you, Sean. I don't know about, maybe not everybody. I wanted to talk about the offlane because there was so much stuff going on across the map. There was tons of kills involving Notel especially, and S4 had a remarkably good game. Ake touched on that as well with the Lich being involved. They really wanted to zone Brewmaster, but something pointed out is that both Troll and Brewmaster can prevent the other person from hitting each other. Now, Brewmaster's skill is a little bit more limited here. It only lasts for 4 seconds, but it gives you 70% miss chance. So if it's just Brewmaster and Troll Warlord, he can use it a lot more than Troll can use his spin to ensure that his opponent doesn't get last hits. And Super Benjaz did have an advantage, especially for the first 4 to 6 minutes, but the problem is that there were some early Lich rotations that kind of gave S4 a lot more space. You guys probably caught this one where they went for the regen rune. Asel here got out with a very, very clutch TP, but in some ways, I actually think it would have been better if he died there, because teleporting back to base means you have to walk all the way back to the bot lane, and that means that he was off of the map for a good 30 seconds, 1 minute, something like that. And these kinds of things really added up and allowed S4 to get more levels, more last hits, things like that that are going to keep him competitive with Troll Warlord. And sometimes even his rotations were effective. He TPs the off lane here, ends up getting a kill, assist with on Fly with his team, and that's all great, but that means more time that he has no boots, that he's not in the safe lane, that he's not limiting S4. And ultimately, we saw the big team fight that was on the bot lane. They got them the double kill, killed the Troll, killed the Lich as well, and that ultimately turned into a tower push immediately afterwards. S4 gets the last hit. Keep in mind, we're only 8 minutes into the game right now, and then he pushes for a few more waves, and towards the end here, we're looking at a 10-minute Blink Dagger, which is insane. Level 7 Brewmaster. And This, coupled with many other factors, is just why OG made that game look so easy.
I mean, I'm super glad you bring up these sorts of timings because, I mean, often if you don't get good enough farm, it's 20-minute blink daggers, 22-minute blink daggers, and getting it at half that pace, 10 minutes, it's these little things, like you said, that add up. And if you've ever played against a good player in Dota, whew, you feel it. Now, our next match is going to be the final best of one for the day. It's going to be IG Vitality going up against Digital Chaos. And Digital Chaos, you may recall, as second place at last year's TI. Again, with so much competition at this tournament, with so many strong teams, they're still down, one game away from elimination.
Totally different roster. Let's not give these guys credit for second place in TI just yet. It's a totally different team. I'm sure it's it's the same sponsor, same team, but not these guys.
What is it that is now different in terms of the style in DC, other than, of course, the stylish Bulba being part of the squad?
They got a little Bulba flavor to them.
Yeah.
They got a couple of Korean players coming over the seas to help them out. Got my boy Mason on the 1 position, carrying hard as always. I don't know. I like this team. These guys are my friends. So.
Oh, of course. Well, of course, I want to get a little perspective on IG Vitality. IG, of course, having 2 teams, the Invictus Gaming team proper that is up in winners, and IG Vitality. Very excited to see what they're going to be bringing. The teams are ready to come out. So let's introduce our very first team, Invictus Gaming's Vitality. Paparazzi, Super, and of course, dogfights. Notable names on IG Vitality. Thoughts on their team, PPD?
The only Chinese team not to make it to the upper bracket. They were very, very close. Them up against DC, 2 teams that were right on the cusp of the upper bracket. This is the closest best of one, in my opinion, looking at day 1 before everything happened today.
I know a lot of people are excited about this match. Let's introduce our second team, second place at last year's TI. It is Digital Chaos. So many big names on both teams. I mean, Abed, one of the few players that's over 10K MMR. Bulba, who doesn't even need any description. You simply say his name and the crowd erupts.
Why is he so infamous to the newer people?
That's a great question, Merlini. Why is he so infamous?
He has a really deep history in the NA scene. One of you two want to explain?
Who are you talking about?
Bulba.
Bulba?
Yeah.
He's a fan favorite out there. He's got a great personality. He's charismatic. He's passionate. One of the fiercest competitors out there. One of the smartest competitors out there as well. How could you not like him?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's always so fun to watch. He's so active on the map. And, of course, he wears his heart on his sleeve. After a lot of the TIs, you see so much of the emotion depending on the results, the outcomes of the matches he's in. And I'm a little curious as well in terms of IG.V, the players that are standouts to you.
I'm not the one to answer you exactly that question, but if I can come with another answer about the DC instead, I think it's interesting with Bulba. He's been on a lot of teams, but like all of the players that have played with him says that he's like really smart and really good. So in that sense, it's that he just can't seem to find the right team that really fits him. But he's like Envy in a way. He works he works really hard, and he's a very smart player. So I'm really hoping for him to be able to find his team and his play style.
And as always, to get a little more insight into the Chinese teams and the Chinese players, we have Jack over on Jack's corner with Machine. talk to us a little bit about IG.V.
I would absolutely love to. I mean, I'm just simply going to throw questions at you, Jack, if you're cool with that.
Sounds good.
All right, so first of all, apologies for the sweat. Me and Jack have just done about 3 laps of the key arena to get pumped, get the blood flowing, and get some serious insight in your faces. First things, of course, is that if you're unfamiliar with what this segment is about, we basically venture into the realm of Chinese Dota, and here we have Jack to guide us through it. First question, IG.V, the only team in the lower bracket. First TI, I mean, what's their story from the Chinese scene?
So this is the first TI for all their players. By the way, the last time that happened was Wings last year. When they won the championship. And they've stayed together also the longest, I believe, of any team at TI. This team formed last March. And then you ask, why do they stay together? Most teams, would break apart if they don't qualify for TI as they did last year. Well, simply, they've said, we play together really well. We feel we can take anybody, especially in China, because they're able to win most online tournaments and do very well domestically. So they feel that confidence, and they decided to give it another go this year. They had some issues before TI this year, but Paparazzi said at some point, you know what, we've played together for this long, let's just get to our first TI together, and here they are.
And just away from the history lesson for a moment, personal opinion time. Do you like that approach? Because as someone that's from different scenes, you see teams sticking together, and through highs and lows, they find results. In Dota, it can sometimes be, didn't make TI, let's try again with some new names. What do you think about IG.V's new approach?
I think it's good. I think this team has done a couple of kind of revolutionary things. So back when they formed in last year, they actually had 8 or 9 players on their roster. And the reason for that is if a player wasn't performing well, they'd be able to sub in this sense of having subs, like if you're a coach or manager, if someone isn't performing well, you also have some kind of like leverage over that or pressure on them as well.
Seems cutthroat, no?
Yeah, it was. And there was another reason for that as well that also distinguishes this team. So back then, in China and in other scenes, you have a lot of star players who are the cores of your teams.
Sure.
You build a team around those stars, and they find people who fit. And so in this sense, IG was keeping a bunch of subs who would be able to learn the team's play style, train and practice with them so they could step in with the bigger players on the first team if needed. Ultimately, the Valve substitution rules changed, and so they ended up keeping this roster of 5 players. And so they've stuck together since then. And
resilience is kind of the biggest takeaway from that. So you have IG.V, the only Chinese team that are in the lower bracket, or at least started there. And we're going to head over back to the panel. The resilient IG.V taking on DC.
I mean, technically the only Chinese team in the lower bracket, but every single Chinese team we've seen here thus far have been astounding. And to bring even more insight into the life of IG.V, we have Casey with the captain of IG.V in July.
A lot of teams have gone through some roster shuffles quite a bit over the last year or two, but you have all been playing together since March of 2016. So how do you think that has given you a little bit of an advantage playing together for that long?
我觉得，当一个队发生了就是一些不好的事情，或者是很糟糕的时候，是出现的可能比较多的是不信任吧。当一个队伍不信任的时候，他们就会状态很糟糕，又互相打的都不自信。每个队都在不断的换人吧，我们一直不换人，是因为一直以来大家都互相的信任。因为大家都是很好的朋友，所以很团结，所以就一直没想过要换人，然后就是都很相信队友，坚信我们一定可以打出很好的成绩。
So then how do you deal with adversity as a team when it comes up? So there have been a few times that you've lacked consistency a little bit. How do you address that as a team? Is it easier to be real with each other since you know each other so well?
是有吧，就是大家关系比较好，所以很多很尖锐的问题或者是很难解决的问题都可以直接说出来，然后这样通过时间，然后慢慢去调整，然后做到最好。
You were the team's drafter before and during DAC. How did that shape you as a player, and what kind of insights did that give?
那是我第一次做 BP 手吧，我觉得还挺有意思的。就是当 BP 手的时候，你就觉得自己在操控一个比赛，你预期它会发展成什么样，然后你去计算一些什么样的英雄更好发挥，然后更容易能赢得比赛。非常的有趣吧。但是后来我觉得我的 BP 没有就是我们队苏鹏的 BP 厉害，所以还是把这个重任交给他。
All right, we're going to do the rapid fire round. Feel free to stretch. Thank you. Yep, I find it helps. Yep. All right. Oh, here we go. Yep. Okay, we good? Good. Biggest pet peeve or thing that annoys you?
就是有人在欺负女生。
Oh, it's a good pet peeve. Nice. Favorite pizza toppings?
香肠。
That's mine too. Pepperoni's good. High five. It's the best. You can bring 3 things to a deserted island. What do you bring?
电脑、女朋友、床。
Do you want to list the girlfriend first?
是的，我能重说一遍吗？
So girlfriend
Yeah.
first.
女朋友第一，电脑第二，床第三。
You'll thank me for that one later.
And of course, best of all, pepperoni's his favorite flavor. That it truly is the best pizza topping. Nothing like the garbage pizza topping pineapple. Why ruin a perfectly good pizza?
That's nice. Come on.
Are you serious?
Let's not pineapple shame up here. It's a little too political.
Gosh, why? That's so savory and salty. Put sweet. Just either way. IG.V, I think it's really remarkable the fact that they've stayed together for so long. They're going to be going up against a team that went through, as PPD noted, a significant roster change from last year. To talk about Team DC, we have Abed with Casey.
Okay, we'll start easy. Actually, all of this is easy. What has it been like for you training on a North American team versus a Philippine team?
There are a lot of differences, I'd say. It's like we take scrims more seriously. The way how we play is different as well.
Yeah, how is it different?
It's like the way we communicate and strategies and stuff, yeah.
How do you feel as a team coming into the pressure of the international?
Kind of nervous, I feel, but I think we're gonna be fine.
What's the biggest part about TI? Is it the mental preparation, or is it the actual game preparation, or is it like a combination of both? What's the hardest part?
It's a combination of both, I think. You have to like be mentally prepared before you go to the actual games. So, yeah.
What about playing for Bulba? What can you say about him?
He's a nice guy. He's really funny.
Yeah.
He has a lot of cool ideas in game too. Yeah, he's really smart.
So I hear you're the best Meepo player in the world. Would you agree with that?
I don't know.
Can you do a Meepo voice? Because I can. Do you mind if I do a Meepo voice?
Sure. Okay.
Ain't no problem some tools and a good strong back can't solve.
Oh, that's good.
Pretty good. A digger's got a dig. Huh? It actually hurts my voice. What do you think makes you so good at Meepo?
I think my micro skills and map awareness. Yeah.
Can we plan on seeing you play Meepo?
I hope so.
Hope so. Well, are you ready for the lightning round?
What?
You're like, wasn't that the lightning round? I have some quick questions I'm going to ask you. This is the fun part, okay? Okay. What is your favorite meal?
Burgers and fries.
Burgers and fries. Cheeseburger or regular burger?
Cheeseburger.
Thank you. Good. Let's say you're stranded on an island and no one's there. What are the 3 things you bring with you if you know you're going to be stranded?
Food, water, clothes.
That's a very smart answer. Okay. Are you a morning person or a night person?
Night person.
Do you have a pet peeve? Like, what's the biggest thing that annoys you
Biggest thing that annoys me?
besides interviews?
Bulba.
I'm sure he won't mind you saying that.
I gotta say, for someone who's so calm and modest in his delivery, he is terrifying in mid. He is so scary to watch play Meepo. In fact, some of the only Meepo bans that we saw in first and second pick were against Abed.
I wonder if we'll see it in the best of 1.
I want it.
They haven't played it yet.
That would be nice. Like, super cool.
Likely banned in the best of 1, I would hope.
I would love that. I would love that. Just right at the start, IG.V goes, all right, you don't want to play Meepo. We just don't want to see it. We don't even care what else you do. Just don't let the 10K player get his Meepo. I was looking at his historical record. He has over 70% win rate lifetime with that in all situations.
Yeah, that's
that's hard.
Meepo abuser, 10K MMR. Yeah, I mean he's a great player, but let's be honest, Meepo abuse. I don't know.
It's a hard hero to play though. You can try it.
Yeah. I will not try it.
To 10K.
That's my repick if I ever ran a Meepo. No, 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 no.
Yeah, I mean, just the technical skill is crazy. Now, in terms of the actual drafts that we're going to be seeing, there's a lot of jokes about Bulba, and, you know, PPD, I know you know Bulba pretty well. How does he like to draft? How does he like to arrange his little chess pieces of a team
Well, Bulba's
together?
actually not the drafter. Dubu is actually the drafter on the team. But Bulba says it's a very team effort sort of thing, more like an EG kind of style of drafting. Dubu just clicks the buttons. Sam gets a little nervous.
But Bulba's no doubt the puppet master, manipulating him into clicking on the right
definitely
hero.
has a lot of opinions, but he does get in his own head. I think that's, you know, he's his own worst enemy. It's kind of his weakness.
It just takes a lot, though, to actually click the buttons, because then if you hear a lot of things from a lot of people, you still have to decide which idea that you should go for and what you should do with that. But if you just like listen to everyone, then you end up with a draft that makes no sense.
You know, we've talked a little bit about the significance of Meepo and Abed. Are there certain heroes that you look for on IG.V that are big standouts? I know Paparazzi is known for excellent Sven play.
Oh, definitely. Lich Doom, that was their specialty throughout the group stage, and they ran it very successfully in the offlane. In July, I would say actually a Doom specialist. He was very good on the hero, although later on in the group stage, they actually encountered a lot of problems versus AA, and then they started losing games, and they started banning AA, and then they picked Doom more, and then they kept winning. And they were really close to getting to the upper bracket with that. That's, I would say, the main difference I saw in between those games and the other teams.
For DC, Abed's been playing a very, very limited hero pool throughout this tournament. It's almost been exclusively Quap, Puck, and maybe Invoker once or something. He played Timbersaw as well. I guess they added Timbersaw, so Quap, Puck, and Timbersaw are the main three.
Yeah, and I mean, it's entirely possible that he will be able to get those picks because, I mean, given the way the bans have been going, sure, Puck's been a regular, frequent ban, but
I'm just worried.
He's pretty well-rounded.
I'm just worried if he doesn't get one of those.
That is true. Looks like teams and players are ready, which means we are now going to be going straight into the final best of one for the day. It is going to be IG.V versus Digital Chaos.
IG Vitality versus Digital Chaos. Game 1.
As always, so excited to see what happens in the draft, given how hard of an influence it has in every game.
Go Mason.
Go Mason. You know, we haven't even talked about Mason. Mason was an absolute delight to watch in the NA qualifiers. He's just an exceptional player.
Back from TI4. It's been a while since he's been on this main stage, but he has only ever gotten top 3 at TI, and every TI he's played in.
Later, Meepo.
Seems like DC making their homework, banning the Lich.
Drow Meepo, first ban from IG Vitality. Love it.
Getting rid of the cheese. Get that out of here. Trying to win. All right. Naga Mirana, very EG kind of style here. We saw this not work out for them earlier, unfortunately.
But, you know, the net for Naga Siren to freeze an enemy in place. Great setup for Mirana's long stun on her arrow.
I think that's one of Mason's best heroes, Mirana. He plays like Mirana and Weaver exceptionally well.
That was old school Mason. That was TI4 Mason.
Yep.
Safe lane, what? Mirana, Weaver, Storm.
Sand King and Shadow Shaman seem like very safe, well-rounded picks. Shadow Shaman's ability to push down towers and have long lockdowns. Sand King, nice little bit of everything. Little stun, little wave clear. And
also that Sand King can actually also go to the offlane. So it's quite open. They have one support and then one hero that can do both.
So the way we saw Newbie deal with the Naga and the Mirana was the dual combo of OD plus ABBA to render this combo completely useless. If you get rid, like Sleep, like Naga doesn't actually do that much damage. It's just a lot of setup. But if you're set up for something underwhelming, like Arrow, then if it's countered by those two heroes, then you're not actually doing that much in the team fight with these two heroes.
Enigma banned out, reducing the team fight capabilities of Naga Siren.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that the sleep from Naga Siren with easy setups for Black Hole is a really potent combination.
And the second one's Disruptor.
Yeah, anybody's close together, you just sleep them and set up.
Early Sven pick.
There's that IG.V Sven pick, also taking that away from Mason, who has had a lot of success in the group stages with that hero.
Yeah, and watching Paparazzi play Sven is just a real treat. He's exceptional at knowing when it's an appropriate time to leave lane in order to farm the jungle, but also to free up any support from needing to protect him in lane.
He actually puts a lot of pressure on the other team because he's one of the heroes that clears stacks the fastest. So if you don't do anything to stop the ancient stacks, and when he's jungling, you're in a very bad position.
Also a BKB core to handle coming out of Naga Sleep. If there's some danger ahead of him, he can just pop that Black King bar after the Naga Sleep and be ready to fight.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The Bulba Spirit Breaker.
Yes.
He had a great game on it in the group stage. Really set the tone. It's a great hero for establishing direction for a team. It's you just kind of you charge someone, you say you're charging them, and you hope your teammates follow up. And if it doesn't look good, you just cancel the charge and walk away.
And the probability of your teammates following up increases as you get closer to the TI main stage.
Definitely. That we'll see how the RNG gods favor Bulba in this game. Hopefully
17% is awfully high.
Yeah, why not 20? Let's go with 20%.
Ah, Darkseer.
Darkseer Sven, that's a Virtus Pro classic. These two heroes synergize pretty well. I think Sven is the one here that does enable Darkseer to be a pickable hero, at least in my opinion. Not a big fan of the hero otherwise.
Primarily due to the vacuum slurping all the heroes together in Sven's cleave?
Yeah, well, I also think Sven is a hero that will build a Blink Dagger, and he almost becomes, he's one of the cores that has some sort of initiation power. I do like teams to have 2 initiators, so they have that now with the Sand King and the Sven.
They also have the Sand King who can actually go up to the Darkseer's lane and be able to bully the safe lane of DC a bit with the Iron Shell on Sand King and roaming around with it.
Also additional counter initiation against the sleep combo if they do want to work with that and not just rely on BKB Sven.
I gotta say, I just love watching Spirit Breaker games. It's so fun just watching him bomb in.
And there's a Death Prophet for Abed.
Ooh. I think DC has quite a good lineup against the Sven. They have the Spirit Breaker ultimate who goes through the BKB so he can CC the Sven a bit. They have Naga Net to CC the Sven. And the DP ulti also goes through the BKB.
Warcry is pretty good here, though.
It is, for sure.
Yeah, lots of positive armor with the Warcry and the eventual mech from Darkseer. I think probably seeing Frev on the Mirana. And then we're gonna last pick Mason hero. I don't know if Mason does play the Mirana.
Usually no. I've seen Forever play some weird offlanes this tournament.
Yeah.
Let's play Wind Ranger, Mirana.
Naga offlane?
Then it would be I don't know.
The old one?
I don't know about that. So maybe a Dubu Naga, Bulba Spirit Breaker. Okay. See what these last bands are telling us here. We got Necrophos banned out from IG.V and then Puck from DC.
Digital Chaos choose relatively
Mason
quickly Lifestealer.
Yes.
Always it's a classic combination with Spirit Breaker. You climb inside Spirit Breaker, you go cross map, surprise.
You sound like you have some experience.
I have experience on both ends. In fact, one of my first games of Dota, I did not know that Spirit Breaker was a hero. And then another hero popped out of him, and I was just like, this game is...
So what did you think was charging at you? An angry neutral?
Just a giant stampeding blue cow was just crashing right into me. Oh, it was terrifying.
If you knew it was Bulba, would you be more or less scared?
I would be exactly neutrally scared.
All right.
It would have no impact on my fear.
So he treats Bulba as a creep. As a neutral creep.
That's right.
That's mean. So the Lifestealer is very good against Darkseer on the lane as well. So they don't really have to help him. They can actually even leave him there if they want to. Just help him a bit in the beginning. Otherwise, you can see other carriers that actually suffers a bit.
I don't know how much I like this Naga pick now. There's nothing really to combo with. It's almost entirely used for counter initiation. Ooh, does he just kind of play the game slow and farm? Oh, first appearance of Storm Spirit.
Storm is always a treat to watch, just with his mobility, being able to slip into back lines, pick off squishy heroes.
Cicada Storm Spirit is great too. I saw a bit of this at DAC, I believe.
Well, I am personally very excited to see Storm Spirit making a debut here on the main stage, and of course, Storm Spirit, a first appearance as well. It is a best of one between IG Vitality and Digital Chaos. It is the last match of the day. Let's throw to the casters to find out who will win and who will go home.
It will definitely be a long night, but who will it be really long for? The team that loses, the team that has to think about what could have been.
That's dark, but true.
So is the night.
Yeah.
And it's full
Very
of
fit.
terrors for one of these teams. That was actually really bad. IG Vitality versus Digital Chaos. Who do you feel like? We've talked about underdog teams so far. We've had both of the teams from the bottom of the group being knocked out already tonight. Do we give an advantage to IG.V? Do we say the strength of China is just so strong here at TI7 that you have to go for them? Or is Digital Chaos the team with the edge?
I'm mainly looking at the draft. I think when it comes to these best of ones, I think this is maybe one of the closer matchups that we had today out of the, well, definitely one of the closest in the lower bracket in terms of how these teams performed in the group stage. DC actually showed a lot of really great promise and had a couple of games that they were in a very good position in but shouldn't have lost. And similarly for IG.V. But looking at the draft, I personally like the IG.V draft in this game. I'm always a big fan of these like last pick Storm Spirits that are more or less uncountered. The hero just has a tendency to really take off. There isn't much stopping him here. The only thing that he really needs to look out for is actually the Death Prophet Silence. Spirit Breaker you can pretty easily counterplay. When he charges you, you can just jump through him, and then you break the charge, or you can jump away and he can't chase you forever. You can play around Song of the Siren pretty well when you have, I guess you can get Song into Arrowed or something like that, but it needs to be something very specific. Lifestealer has got nothing on Storm, and yeah, it's overall just a really good Storm game. And IG.V with a solid team fight lineup, whereas as PPD pointed out, DC's lineup is a lot more about counter-initiating, and I feel like that's going to be a pretty difficult type of game to play into this type of lineup. So we'll see how it goes. I favor IG.V based on drafts at least, and we got a run fight.
Yeah, they're coming to contest the bottom. Spirit Breaker is charging his way down. I'm wondering how long it's going to take. Is Dubu with the first Riptide now shackled up. Here comes your charge. You'll go through all three heroes. Actually, no, it doesn't. It only connects on the Shaman, but Dubu's so low, the Riptide will help him get the kill. They're moving past the rune. Dubu, he's going to grab that as well. Actually, no. Bulba, it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. Dubu will fall. Paparazzi finds the kill. Bulba has charge available. Dogfights with heavy amounts of damage taken. We'll move off the rune, but we had two go the way of DC. Bulba was able to grab that rune on the bottom. So 3 runes actually the way of DC at the end of it all.
I think IG.V could have maybe got away with that first blood if Shadow Shaman just kept attacking. That hero has really high base damage, so in early exchanges like that, you want to just stand your ground, hit, instead of trying to walk away with your incredible 285 base move speed. It's not really going to happen anyway.
They're going after Paparazzi. He doesn't have a War Cry. Forev doesn't have Arrow. He went for Leap to start with. So it's just the attack speed he's gotten. The double stun will allow him to retreat back to the tier 1 tower. And not to mention that, he just munched on an Observer Ward. So more money, better regen.
Why did he skill Leap?
Maybe they believe the attack speed's better.
I don't think that's the reason. He might have misclicked, or did they use it in the rune fight? Actually, I didn't really notice. It's just very peculiar.
He could have leapt away to try and survive the rune fight. I also was paying more attention to the supports dying.
I thought they were going on the Naga. Oh, anyway, he didn't have the arrow. They didn't kill. That's kind of the end of that. Let's have a look at mid. This is something that is generally a very good indication of a good start in mid. Is that
I want to look up towards top because they're actually going for a kill on Lifestealer. He's going to rage up, has Feast available. In July was burning him down quite nicely. He was like Mason's just been burning to these iron shells non-stop.
He has a lot of regen though. He went Flask plus 8 tangos, probably expecting this type of lane. Lifestealer, in addition to that, has a decent matchup against Darkseer because he can use rage and just kill the Iron Shell creep later on, and has decent natural sustain by just hitting creeps all the time. He's going to heal up. I was going to say this mid lane was looking good for Abed with a double wave. He managed to push into Sakatsa, but Sakatsa played pretty well on the tower and more or less equalized this mid lane early on. So looking good for both mid laners. Dubu is going to lay into super a bit. Steals his bounty rune. Very nice by Dubu to manage to secure that.
But this happens too when Bulba's crossing behind the tower. Like he's moving between the tier 1, tier 2 tower and the mid. The Observer ones are not near it, so no, he doesn't actually have eyes on the Courier.
Imagine you could charge the Courier.
They're going to charge mid instead, over towards the Storm Spirit, already starting with the Crypt Swarm. Spirit Siphon already going to work as well. Death Prop is able to tank, but Dogfight's being involved in this fight. Abed doesn't actually want to get too close. Burrow striked up, but at least there is no more pressure coming from the Storm Spirit, so both mids will just have to start regenning. Maybe bottom lane is where the trouble is. Dubu on the run out, already Riptide Forev. Threw the arrow out, and Paparazzi bone dry on mana. Will also have to retreat back to the lane. He needs regeneration too. Both Super as well as Paparazzi are out of regeneration on the bottom. And the Courier is heading up to Injuly on the top to try and finish his Soul Ring. He's sending the Mango north.
He's got good farm. This is something that PPD mentioned earlier on the panel, was that the Darkseer is more of a greedy offlaner that really wants to farm rather than set his team up for a long time. In some matchups, Darkseer can get shut down really hard. Something like the Nyx Assassin support role can actually just ruin your game, because if you don't get to the Soul Ring in a good time, your entire build-up is just delayed too much. But Injuly has a great start here. He's getting very good farm. He's in a position now where he can cut the wave because the opposing carry can't counterplay him at all anyway. Great hero against Lifestealer at pretty much every stage of the game. This Darkseer has some very nice counterplay potential, and this means Injuly will outfarm the Lifestealer, because this is how this lane's going to go. He will Iron Shell himself, he'll cut the wave, and then he'll go and farm the small camp. And Lifestealer is in his tower the whole time.
Bulba into Super.
Oh, good
bash. Extra bash as well. Abed dies in the meantime, but Dubu will team up with Bulba to find that kill. So Death Prophet actually dying very close to the tier 1 tower amid. Dogfights was waiting in the tree line the entire time just for that over-aggressive play onto a Storm Spirit who was sitting at maybe a quarter of his life. And he fell for it. Storm Spirit survives, and Death Prophet dies.
Who got the kill? Oh, you're shared. Okay.
Yep.
That's still a very big kill.
It was the tower probably doing most of the work.
You can, by the way, we didn't talk about this, but you can see the wording from DC in the top area of the map, what they were intending. They're like, okay, we're going to put you against the Darkseer. We want Darkseer to not have access to the side pole because he's always going to push you in, and you're just going to fend for yourself up here while we leave you, and at least he can't farm that camp. The problem is Darkseer can just farm the other one. It's still better that they block that camp. But
they're
lane, Sakata, if there's a bash here, he's going to die.
They really want to get this no bash, but it will still be enough for the Spirit Siphon.
I had double damage. Okay, I didn't see that. Yeah, the Death Prophet hits pretty hard right now. 150 a pop right now. So, look at that.
And cancelling off the clarity of dogfights. Bottom lane, nice arrow. This is an easy combination. Spirit Breaker still charging down here, so Paparazzi can move back behind the tower. He's got 5 stick charges, just committed them there, but Bulba under the tower with Dubu. They find yet another kill with this aggressive rotation you expected from a Spirit Breaker, and you're getting exactly what you expected.
They're off to a great start, DC. All of this pressure on Sven is going to have a huge impact on the game. You can see Paparazzi has queued up an Iron Talon. He just wants to get out of this lane. He's tired of being shut down so hard, but he's being delayed a lot, and the Lifestealer isn't. Like, Mason is just free farming top. Obviously, the Darkseer's being annoying and taking his small camp, but he's still getting his own. So if this is what they're accomplishing based on trading off that top, that's super DC favored.
This move is so good from DC. The smoke came out from Dogfights as well as Super. They were originally thinking about going towards the mid. Now they head down into the jungle. They're looking for Sven, who abandoned the bottom lane. Abed smoked up with Bulba, and they've seen a little bit more damage. Bulba will provide it. And this has to now pay off for IG.V on top to get the counter kill. They can look towards Mason. He is the top net worth on the DC lineup. But they need that stun before he can rage and before he can infest. But rage is able to be triggered.
That kill is so much harder.
They're going to come under the tower. No rage available. Infest is up. Super. Well, he's got shackles, but the problem is, what's he going to do? Deny his own catapult? Not possible. So Mason jumps out. They got no more creep wave to fight underneath the tower. Not unless Injuly can do exactly this, creep skip it.
This is the kind of early game you want DC to have if you're cheering for them. This is looking very solid, and I think it's important because of the difficulty of playing their lineups later on in the game compared to the ease of execution for IG.V's team fight, that DC managed to especially shut down this Sven. IG.V's lineup kind of falls a bit flat if Sven doesn't have a game. That's just how the hero works. I think this hero plays horribly from behind, and they just haven't been able to secure him at all.
Problematic. At least there's some ancient stacks for him to work with, but yeah, he needs that cleave level. Forev now has a free lane on bottom to do his farm, so this is a point when DC are practically running a three farmed core lineup.
Yeah.
Plus the Spirit Breaker, who has more net worth than the Sven. Almost has as much net worth as the Mirana, just because these skank rotations. He's taken 3 of them, hasn't died once, and has 2 assists. Every single one that DC has gone for, Bulba has been involved.
Yeah, he got a really fast urn. That's such a value item on Spirit Breaker. I'm not sure if the new urn or the old urn was better. The old one gave some strength, this one gives armor. The all attributes is very nice, at least, to get some more mana pool. And Spirit Breaker is like the archetype hero you want to have an urn on, because he's just, all this hero wants to do is scout and kill. Just be involved around everywhere a kill happens, so you're almost guaranteed to get many urn charges every game.
Dogfights and Injuly going to try and team up again. They have the Iron Shell on the Sand King with a level 2 Burrow Strike. But now the smoke breaks, they have to jump forward. Sakata burning half his mana to do this. Bulba charging forward creates more space. And the Moonlight Shadow, they can't see him. They have to throw down the Darkseer wall just to get a copy of Bulba. To be farmed up by Abed, but that gang from IG.V, it needed to work. They pulled their 3 position in to do this.
That was 2 smokes in a row from IG.V that didn't give a kill. First the one to top where they did kill Mason, and now the one to mid where they didn't kill Ovid. So they're starting to run pretty short on ways of engaging fights, whereas DC, they have multiple smokes remaining and they have the Moonlight Shadow. So it's...
They've got a better way to push too. That Exorcism hasn't even been expended yet, but you've got a double damage Rune at the hands of the Death Prophet as she wants to fight. They're able to do so. Bulba pulling out of the charge. And I don't know if that was his own joke. He just cracked the cymbal too.
Maybe he just likes that sound.
And put him punching.
Like some players like to listen to music while they play ball, but just plays that drum roll once in a while.
He doesn't use a drumstick, he uses a magic wand. Mason. Well, Darkseer returns to the lane, so we can't chip away at that tower anymore. And they're trying to give room to dogfights on the bottom to get his farm. A very dangerous notion when you've got Forever and Dubu ready to hunt. They can keep the vision up thanks to this. There's the Bulba charge forward. There is an Observer Ward on top of the Dire Shrine. This is what's allowing them to see when Bulba is moving out quickly. But that's the only real advantage they have. If Bulba's still able to connect, the kill will happen. So Dogfights has to return to his tower. Paparazzi's being pushed out of his own jungle by the illusions of Dubu.
Forever starting to lane to this tier 2 tower. I wonder when IG.V are going to do something about this bottom lane. DC has pretty much set up camp down here. They know that their lifestealer top is pretty safe. Even if he dies once, it's probably okay, and Abed is just farming away at mid. So DC are controlling this very, very well. And
do they have the mana to really do it? Like, until Cicada's able to pick up that Soul Ring, he doesn't look like he's strong enough to get into the fight.
Yeah, Storm is a... That's maybe the problem that IG.V's lineup has that we didn't identify and talk about earlier, is that the 3 cores actually all have build-up time. Storm wants to farm, Sven wants to farm, and Darkseer wants to farm. So there's a lot of pressure on these supports to make the moves work, and if they fail, who are you going to rely on? Like, nobody is ready to go right now for IG.V. The more I look at it, this lineup is actually very greedy.
They're about to try and push the mid. 4 heroes up from Digital Chaos. Lifesteal still farming the top. The pressure on the bottom tier 2 tower and inside the jungle has forced IG.V to back up behind the tower. But now they want to fight into Exorcism and 4 Spirit Siphons available for Abed. Getting that kill is almost impossible, and there's 15 wand charges on this Death Prophet. She's got so much life.
This tower's gone.
Yeah.
You can't hold this as IG.V right now. You're not in any position to fight. If you engage here, it's just going to be even worse. They cut their losses, identifying the right play.
I'm waiting for Dubu to slip around the back. Paparazzi ran to the top lane to try and combo up with In July, trying to get that Darkseer and Sven combination. The big thing that is the reason why this Darkseer is picked up. They tried to make it work, but it doesn't happen. Now Paparazzi trapped with no god strength. Arrow is perfect, combining up with the stun of Bulba. Paparazzi will fall, and Digital Chaos extending their lead now just almost above 5,000 gold in 11 minutes. 2K in the experience, momentum is theirs. But now we have that Soul Ring on the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, Darkseer's closing in on mech. It's going to be a matter of how much gold is IG.V going to hemorrhage before they get a good fight. Because right now their lineup has to still wait. It's 11 minutes in. Their Shaman is level 4. Their Sand King's almost 6, so that's pretty good. But they need these Mass Serpent Wards, and they need these key items, especially the Darkseer mech is going to help out a lot in their team fighting ability. So they got to play it slow. DC is also a team in the group stage that slowed weakness with going high ground. I think they had multiple games they were really far ahead in, and then they made some crucial mistakes and ended up losing. That is probably in the back of both teams' minds as well, that, you know, we could also always have that DC situation that kind of has been their Achilles heel in the groups, to be honest. They could have won a lot of games.
All right, now there's a fight down on bottom lane. This could be a nice pick-off. It's going to be Forev. The charge is coming forward. Forev can't leap away far enough, but now Abed and Dubu teaming up together. The silence stopping the Stormspirit from getting away. So is the ensnare. Charge still coming from the Spirit Breaker, but Song of the Siren. Dubu's buying time for the arrival of the Mad Space Cow. No, the Burrow strike. Dogfights keeps him away, creating space for Cicada to get back past the tier 2 tower. And Dogfights, he knows he just saved his core.
That was so fast on that Burrow strike. If he's just a little bit slower, that's a kill. And DC can obviously also combine that a bit better with the song, but it's still very good execution.
So here's that Song of the Siren charging in.
There's like a bit of time maybe.
They caught a glimpse of him, I believe, from the Observer Ward just to the north, watching over the bottom rune. That's what gave him a small bit of warning that it was coming.
Yep.
But it's coming once more, and now he'll TP away. Dogfights will go north. And Bulba?
Well, he's going to know that Sanking went top, which is actually fairly valuable information.
But this Observer Ward's getting even more from IG.V. It's paid dividends already. And they commit the Mass Urban Ward, so the Tier 1 tower on the top lane. July is taking care of the creep wave as well as any harassment from the tower. And this is a pretty simple Tier 1 tower. The DC have shown no interest in defending and haven't got a revenge kill in return. Tier 2 tower on bottom is what they would like. And maybe they can still take that.
I can try for it. They have to commit exorcism to have any hope of doing this. And you got to remember, all the time this is happening, this Sven is slowly catching up. You know, he had a super hard time when he went Iron Talon. Now he's going to go for the Mask of Madness coming in, so full farming build-up. So DC might feel a little bit under the clock here that they have to get something done.
Well, they're taking out the Tier 2 tower on bottom. They are burning exorcism for this, so for at least the next 2 minutes, IG Vitality know that DC aren't looking for a big fight. And they also understand that DC are probably not going to do Roshan. So now they look for the fight. The ulti is down. They did that just out of range, I believe, of the Dire Observer Ward. Little uncertain if they did see it or not, but IG.V ready to wrap around the back of the mid tower. Exorcism has now returned into Arbed, so he's already got the regeneration from that with a surge of dogfights and the Iron Shell burn. Shackles to follow up. They bring down the Death Prophet before she can get a Siphon off, and Spirit Breaker charge. They're using the Moonlight Shadow to get in close. But do they believe they have enough damage? At the moment, Paparazzi isn't there. He's battling with Dubu on bottom, and that's exactly where DC turned their attention. They look towards the one position of IG.V.
They infested into Bulba, but he didn't have the vision to charge there. Now they're actually just going back into mid. They're like, okay, if you guys want to go into our jungle,
they're charging. Tier 1 tower is pretty low. Bulba's going in. Where's that TP support? There's still 4 heroes here. Dogfight's ready as well. Great jump from Mason. The Shackles on the Spirit Breaker. No more bashes. Dubu go to sleep. And the arrow timing. Swedish Sugar and the back end of the wall. Where's your follow-up damage? It's all from Dogfight sitting in the sandstorm. Doesn't even go into the epicenter. 3 heroes down. Dogfights. He the Burrow Strike. He'll have to use it to escape, not to attack, but Paparazzi. Stormbolt forward, already lost his SK. They need the vision, but the Invis rune sitting in Arbed's bottle. He'll trigger it and get out of range of the Sentry. Want to survive the fight.
He almost found a kill on Darkseer there as well. Arbed just picked up the Yule Scepter. If he saw that TP, just a moment earlier, he would have been able to Yule and then finish him off. Crazy fight overall. I'm not even sure. I guess IG.V won that by a bit on this.
We can see it again. So there's the initiation. It looks crazy, but then DC come from the north and the west. But this arrow timing was so slick.
The main problem with it is that the song is so short that, yes, they connect that arrow, which would have probably connected anyway, so the song ends up doing almost nothing. And it also set up IG.V for a good play with the vacuum into Sanking stuff. So they counterplayed it very well.
That was practically a Ravage. We talk about the combination of the Darkseer working with the Sven. I remember the panel were touching on it earlier today as well, of just like the SK, is he really that much of a fantastic pickup? But when you can back 3 people into a perfect line stun like that, on top of the combination of the ultimate of the Darkseer, it definitely works.
IG.V's lineup is starting to hit their stride now. This is very big, getting that Sanking Blink, 100 gold. Sven is going Blink next item. That was something they talked about in the panel as well, having multiple initiations to play with this Darkseer. IG.V, I think, got through the hardest stage of the game. The last 5 minutes were supposed to be really hard. They outplayed DC, and now they're in a really good spot to continue this game. Because now we're reaching that point when, okay, when DC want to fight, they kind of have to go for these 5-man pushes with DP ult. They're fighting into Vacuum Wall, a Storm Jumping, and the Warcry, which is just amazing this game. And this was a 3rd pick Sven.
Yep.
And then they picked DP and Lifestealer into that. So like Warcry is just incredible. Until there's a Diffusal Blade on this Lifestealer, this armor is just gonna render everyone, I don't want to say unkillable, but this DC lineup doesn't have too much damage apart from the physical.
DC need a way to penetrate the defense, literally, of IG.V. Or else this graph's going to continue to swing vertically. IG.V have actually managed to swing about 6,000 in the experience. This tells the tale a little bit more than the gold graph of just how much IG.V are getting control of this game back. They don't hold the gold lead. In fact, for this entire game, they haven't held that yet. But that's also because DC are continuously pressuring towers, and now they're going for the big man. They're going in for Roshan. The arrow will buy them all the stun time in the world, and they have the damage. At least Roshan doesn't have Warcry.
Yeah, they have the minus armor from the Blightstone, and then DP has both double damage and exorcism. Nice play for DC to identify they can go for this. They will probably be disengaging here. Actually, Bulba gets infested.
They're looking for a target for MTP to bottom lane.
I don't think They can kill Sakata here with this charge. He's going to try, though.
Yep, if they have enough stun time, the Observer was giving him the vision with the death ball. Actually, the push back. No, they don't. 135 HP is enough for the Storm to live.
Close call.
Very close.
If there was an arrow or just an extra swing, he would have died there. But I don't think they could have played it any better. Their layering of stuns between the charge and the Nether Strike was very good. I don't think they had an urn unless their Insta-Rage did it.
It was on 0, and Bulba still hasn't finished up his treads yet, so he doesn't have that bonus attack speed or strength gain. But now it's up to IG.V. They've been attacked, and they will answer in kind.
Yep. The Aegis is currently sitting on Lifestealer, who is in the top area of the map. So IG.V, knowing that Lifestealer is there, are going to go for the opposite play, just see if they can get some vision out here. DC are playing very safe. 5 heroes in basement at 19 with 4 of their towers up is a pretty inefficient way to play, but if they're 100% positive there's a smoke going on and they're very scared of it, it might be the best approach. Now there's heroes starting to show on the map. Sam pings out the Sven in the bottom area. Now they're going to start moving out.
Interested to see too if Bulba discovers the Observer Ward. There's 2 locations you'll be expecting it on. One is the hill it is on, and the other one is to the south of that. And the Infest scattered by that Observer Ward, plus the charge forward from Bulba. Paparazzi turns, they go for the double stun, not perfectly laid, which means Bulba can now run away, but it's Sakata in the back lines, hiding in the trees, jumps down the river, the Spirit Siphon is on in July, he'll get the Greaves off, and the back into a 4-man wall, the Song of the Siren, stopping the fun, they've already had a lot of it, it's a 2-for-1 trade-off, who is the target? You're looking at the Storm Spirit, the silence is there, but it was a little bit too early, and this will allow Paparazzi to continue the fight with that Sven, but he's losing life too quickly. Arbet has a triple kill. Sakata has run away, but he's got no mana left. He'll deny himself with a Bloodstone. The small advantage that IG.V had is now being turned around. DC getting their lead back into the experience in gold.
There's actually a nice side benefit of having the Naga song, is when Sven ultimate is used, you buy yourself an additional 7 seconds, and then you know, the duration of that God Strength isn't infinite. What is the duration of it again? 25 seconds? Yeah, here we go. So here we see the fight. So they get both stuns connected on Bulba, but at the same time. So this takes quite a while for them to bring down that hero. And then this back wall is incredible, but instant Song of the Siren from Dubu to try to get things reset. And if they could have back walled into either the Sven stun or the Sand King stun, that's a team wipe the other way. That's the kind of fight IG.V are looking for. And the back wall is great, but you know, the follow-up was already used. They used all their stuns on that opening, and then it's easy afterwards for the Death Prophet to just run heroes down. There's not enough damage to kill her.
It's just crazy that she's able to do that without, like it's just Hood, Yules now on her. So survivable, but without having the excess of damage too. Sven now being caught out. The arrow is sweet from Rev, bringing down Sven. No buyback available, and they keep the silence on the Darkseer. He can't search away anyway. So Arbet now on a mega kill streak. And they're going to take the tier 2 tower with the burning of the Exorcism. The trade-off is dogfights and Sakata pushing the tier 2 tower on top lane. But Bulba, he wants more. He looks towards Super. Okay, they both pulled out of that, even though Forev jumped in and then pulled out.
Maybe they're finding their limits for how much they can dive now. There's been plays in this tournament that made me doubt they even knew it's dangerous to dive base.
Tempering their spirit
the hard way.
In a best of 1 where you do not want to go out, yeah, fair enough. Storm's going to TP herself all the way home, hit himself. Dogfight's left stranded.
Are IG actually going to get this top tower? IG.V will get this tier 2, almost. I'm very surprised DC aren't defending this with just a single charge from Bulba or something that could have helped
He was charging the Storm Spirit who just TP'd out.
Yeah, good charge.
It was on cooldown for a little bit longer.
Maybe charge the creep wave or something. Alright. Oh, quick blink from the Sand King. Gets away from Silence into Crypt Swarm. Will be fine and TP out as well. This is a really good sequence of events from DC though. They were starting to let IG.V back into the game a lot, but these 2 good fights have put them in a nice position again. They need to keep the pressure up, I think. Don't let IG.V farm, don't let them group up. Keep looking for these skirmishes with this Spirit Breaker. See, Bulba's going to use the smoke at the enemy shrine, then actually TP bottom. look for an opening. IG.V are not connected yet. If they jump paparazzi now, this could be a very quick kill. Oh, he blinked into farm.
Yeah, he just blinked over to farm at the moment. Nagasaren's going to get hexed off on the side, but paparazzi's already down. But what do they do about this? Super and Ninja Lights reveal themselves. They throw down the Mouse Serpent Walls, but Super's been bounced around like a ragdoll thanks to the badges. Almost down. The Grief will give him a little bit more life, but Dubu controls the Darkseer. You've still got the army of the Darkseer fighting for them, as well as the Mouse Serpent Walls. Mason will turn towards the hero, and with a charge forward from Spirit Breaker, they're able to not only farm up the heroes, but they'll farm up the wards as well. And this means pressure time. Combinations down, no Mouse Serpent Wards, no Darkseer back wall.
Paparazzi's getting caught out a lot this game. This is definitely not his best showing. Maybe this play wasn't too easy to read, but they've made 3 or 4 connections on him with a charge into arrow. It is hard, by all means, to farm like this, but they can't have the Sven keep dying like this. That's the main reason DC are in such a good position. Is the Sven has died 6 times. He started to come back on farm, died 2 times in quick succession.
Silence.
Doesn't look so good anymore again.
Abed catching out the Sand King thanks to Crypt Swan, was unable to blink away, and the arrow again right on the money from Forev.
DC are feeling themselves, man. They're going for one play after the other. Just keep going fast. Next play. And then how you want to play Spirit Breaker. You want to charge.
Yep. Paparazzi's trying to get his farm on bottom lane.
He's showing again. You can see now he's starting to get paranoid. Like, he farms one wave and then he's just TP's back to base. He's scared of being charged.
It's crazy when he has the Observer Ward and Sentry still there, but you just never know what's going to be coming at you. Bulba is charging past the tier 2 tower on top, just towards In July, who retreats to his tier 3. And this is the last remaining out of tower of IG.V. And they've only claimed 2 of Digital Chaos. This gold advantage stretching closer towards 7.5, and with their death of the tower, over 8K. IG Vitality have to stop the bleed. You're right, the Digital Chaos are doing exactly what they need to. They're pushing and keeping pressure on, but where do they go from here? You're 25 minutes in. You still don't want to go high ground, do you? Like, it's a Darkseer combination in the safety of the IG.V base.
Oh, Abed found super.
These pickoffs are the beautiful thing they want.
Pretty dead. Oh, it's got to be nice playing Spirit Siphon with charge. That's pretty nice. Just keep refreshing your Spirit Siphon that way. What do they need to do? I think DC keep controlling the map, get picks like this, get the next Roshan, then think about high grounding perhaps. As long as they keep picking off heroes like this, they're just extending their lead and buying more time. You feel like when you look at the draft and look at IG.V's lineup that they're going to hit this point of critical mass when it gets really difficult to teamfight into them. That point is it's not even close, man. This Sven is so underfarmed. He's having a really, really rough game. Generally, at this point in time, you definitely want to have Mask of Madness Blink and the BKB, and right now he's like 2K behind par. And that's with 160 CS on that Sven as well. He's currently 6th on the overall network, on a hero that wants to play from ahead.
With no control of your Ancients, that doesn't look like it's going to be repaired anytime soon. The only way is killing heroes. That's it.
He's terrified. He's standing in this left side alone. His entire team is in their base. Now he's going to TP back. So he walked all the way up there to stand in the trees, enjoy nature, and then it's like, maybe I got to make some money to be able to justify just standing out in the trees.
Man, it's...
He's not even going for this pre-win, man. This is one of the best ways of showing why Dota is a mental game, is playing against Spirit Breaker when you're behind.
The Observer Ward only just caught a glimpse of Abed moving down to the bottom lane, and he instantly moves back to base. Obviously, you already farmed the wave, but you're right, they're living in a bit of their own fear.
I think at this point, what you need to do as IG.V is, this BKB on Storm Spirit needs to be put to use. They need to look to fight. If the fight goes well, you bring Sven back in the game that way. They have to make space for their Sven. He can't make space for them right now. Darkseer has the key items he needs. He has Greaves and Force. It's pretty okay. Maybe wants a Blink Dagger, but it's playable without. And the Storm BKB will be, as we talked about, just strategically in this game draft-wise, an amazing Storm game later on. So
God, this Storm game, though, is going to be a nightmare. He just walked right over the top of a dire Observer Ward. Has to bolt himself up. He's not bolting. He's actually not going over the top of Bulba. So Bulba connects on both of his stuns. And the Storm Spirit will fall. They were looking for the ward. They put the sentry down, but it's right on top of the shrine. It's the perfect counter ward if DC want to control Roshan.
It's a big kill. Now that BKB got delayed again. It was very close. Now he's 400 away. Loses Bloodstone charges again. He's down to 5. DC are still just map controlling. The Rosh will spawn in about 10 seconds, and then they can start working on that.
There's no way IG Vitality can contest that. If they do, they're going to lose so many heroes.
They can actually contest this if they smoke. It is possible. Do they have one? They haven't smoked on Shaman. I don't think you give this Aegis away. It's Aegis and Cheese. The second Roshan is so important this patch. If they know it's happening, they gotta go. They gotta try it.
So here's that gank on the Storm Spirit once more. It's just everybody together.
Yeah. So it's an awkward position for Storm because he feels like he doesn't have time to turn and jump over the Spirit Breaker. But so what he needs to do is he needs to jump far enough to the side that he can turn and jump across in the opposite direction. But his jumps were too short. You can see DC were having a little bit of a laugh about it. They probably thought, you know, he should have been able to get out of that one. But don't get the kills if you don't try. And well, IG.V were not sure Roshan spawned or were not willing to try and contest. So that one also goes the way of DC. And they are starting to rack up serious advantages for this high ground push now.
The Mass Serpent Wars are taking the tier 1 tower on bottom lane, so at least IG.V will get a little bit of injection of cash. Paparazzi has a double damage trimmer for Rev. I don't know if he caught a glimpse of him in the nighttime. I don't believe he did, but it was just a blink into the trees and a quick TP home for the Sven. And he goes all the way back to Fountain too, not even towards the front. He needs a little bit more money, 700 gold to get that BKB up. And then they'll have 2 BKBs with the high ground defense you know is coming. DC with an Aegis model, they're going to push up high ground. Aegis on him, Cheese on Abed.
Who's going to stop this Lifestealer when he uses Rage and hits this tower 5 times and then runs back is the question.
Your only hope is he just sits inside of July's wall.
Yeah, they have the wall.
Yeah.
It's just going to Rage, hit. Oh, my Rage is running out. Okay, 500 damage. Let's try that again. That's fun. Just 10 seconds. We're going to go again.
Mirana's trying to get there.
That's a problem,
down to the shrine.
That's a really big problem. They actually have nothing.
Yep.
To deal with this Rage. He's just going to keep going. Okay, if you're going too early like that.
X, Shackle, forced off mid. Nice double silence from Abed. Made the control very difficult. And the blink is up for Dupu. He'll actually get all 5 heroes of IG Vitality.
Group stage DC would go on that.
Yeah. Main stage, they're just like, okay, we'll just sit here and wait for Jigglypuff to draw smiley faces on our faces.
Very good choice not to go for that fight, I think. And the nice thing for, the reason that even came to be was that Mason walked in a little bit too early before he had Rage.
There goes Mason once again.
Close on the arrow there from Forev.
But they don't have the Song of the Siren to save him this time.
He still has the Aegis. Oh, that's tower is down to half. Wait for the next wave. Just don't go in too early. He went in before Rage was off cooldown last time. That's why they even connected that Sven stun. He's going to heal up nicely here and go again. And IG.V are not doing anything except waiting in their base. The Sven Mithril Hammer is so close. 300 gold for BKB on him. The Storm is BKB, and they know Song of the Siren is on cooldown, so they can't even ensnare Isolate. Here we go.
Here comes Mason, rages up, tries to go on to Cicada. Albad's committed the ultimate as well, so Exorcism hasn't got the kill on the tower just yet. Fortification's protecting it. The spirits are close enough, now the tower will fall, but where is the attack? The BKB is still not there for Sven. He's going back and actually selling items so he can buy the BKB to fight this, but in the time he's done that, DC have already taken the melee racks, and they're leaving.
See ya, guys. Thanks for the fight. It's a great fight. That was like the freest racks of the tournament, I think. They're just looking at them. They were like, oh, I don't have BKB, I gotta go buy it. Well, it's too late. But, okay, now IG.V are in fighting shape. It does, by all means, not look good, but they have the tools to take a good fight. They know Song of the Siren is still on cooldown for a little bit, and they're gonna try their luck here, going straight away. 2 BKBs, Blink Dagger, back wall. Anything can happen now. The best way to initiate is that Storm jumps a target, and they hope for DC to respond, because then they expose themselves to the back wall counterplay.
DC's flagged something. They feel something is up. Now they get information. Abed is underneath that Radiant Observer Ward. They want to go and give the Song of the Siren. It just came off cooldown. They need to stun onto the Narc, but she blinked up, and now Song of the Siren. It catches the SK as well as the Darkseer around. What do you want? The arrow flies in, turn it off, and Darkseer, 5-second stun. Dogfight shows himself and regrets it instantly. Yule Scepter up towards the air. Forced up, but still being charged. Cannot hide inside the sandstorm, even dusting it so they can hit him straight away. Dogfights will fall. Abed is godlike. And IG Vitality have 2 heroes pushing up the daisies. DC will come for more. The line is drawn to go bottom lane.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
I'm trying to remember what just happened. I'm losing my mind.
Murder and murder and murder.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's like an episode of Game of Thrones.
So
Heads are rolling.
Abed had a feeling they were coming from him on the rune, so he goes and clicks. This is so greedy in a way, right? If Dogfights instant stuns him there on the way to the rune, that could have been the way back in the game for IG.V. But Abed got away with it, got the rune, blinked out, and now this arrow connection is beautiful. Very nice timing. No, actually, pretty much frame perfect on that arrow connection, and then just rolled on from there. 20k lead for DC, and IG.V have they've just not looked that good in this game, but they're going to have to pull out the fights of their lives right now.
They need the miracle now. They need the miracle. The force up in July into a huge back wall. There's your back wall, and the stun from Sven! He got stunned up by Ferret's arrow! He never got the hits off, and now is all the DC damage. They turn it into the storm. Sven's down for 50 seconds, and GG! It's over! Digital Chaos will advance, and IG.V, the only Chinese team in the lower bracket, are now out of the International.
Very nice showing from DC overall in this game, I think. It was refreshing to see this early aggression that they pulled out with the Spirit Breaker. They made a lot of good connections. They realized like they need to play fast, they need to be kill hungry because the enemy team is greedy. Find so many picks, especially on that Sven, and IG.V never really got into the game. It felt like there was like moments where maybe it could have worked out, but DC just controlled the tempo over and over and over again. There was one fight for IG.V that made me think they were back in the game.
Yep.
DC responded immediately with kill after kill after kill. Took great advantage of their own ability to take towers with Lifestealer and the Death Prophet, and so was the Roshan. Just a very well-played game by them.
I think you hit the nail on the head. IG.V, you wondered when they were going to come online. We were looking for the soaring, we're looking for the mana capabilities of the Storm Spirit to do something. Sven got kind of shut out, like the laning phase just didn't work for them. And then your Dutchie had little to no influence. The Lifestealer was fine. You knew he was going to be able to regenerate anyway. The pressure that happened on the top tower, you almost looked at the rotations of DC. They attack the bottom tier 1 tower, get the kill, and then IG Vitality is scrambling underneath the dire tier 1 tower on the top lane to try and find the revenge kill. It never came. IG Vitality just couldn't get the counter initiation, the counter kills, and the counter plays against DC. They were always rotating. They were always better with vision.
Abed looks really happy. Yeah. This is obviously a very big moment for him. It's his first time playing at the International. He's all smiles. Mason, a bit more of a veteran. He's more casually just walking away like, oh,
yeah. It's a fantastic thing. Great times. They'll advance for DC, your winner of our final best of 1 for today.
DC, excuse me, put on the gas right out the gate, and I gotta say, MVP Bulba, dude, Spirit Breaker bombing in before the bounty rune even spawns for first blood. He had, what, 4 or 5 kills in the first 5 minutes?
He did a great job to create space in the early game, and he was like chasing the Sven, so he got basically nothing the first 15 minutes. He tried to catch up with the Mask of Madness, and he got the dagger, and then they tried to take a team fight, but then they got slept and arrowed.
I don't know, we haven't seen a ton of Spirit Breaker at this tournament, but that's another win for Bulba on the hero. They seem to be playing really well around it.
And I mean, it was remarkable to see Mason in safe lane. I don't think ever had a support show up once during the first 15 minutes of the game.
It's one of the benefits of Lifestealer.
Yeah, he was styling on those guys up there for a second.
I mean, it was amazing. I would love, Purge, for you to break down a little bit of the early game strengths that we saw at a DC against IG.V.
Yeah, I can easily cover that. Definitely a lot of Bulba clips. He had a really amazing game here. The first thing to point out was his interesting starting item build. Put a lot of his net worth into an Orb of Venom, which is definitely expensive, but it gives you slow upon attack, which was used really well in this first blood here. Got a little lucky being the person that actually got the last hit, but the important thing was that it ended up vaulting his gold up into the 400 mark, which means that even though he had that greedy first purchase, he's now even faster than his opponent by also having a boots of speed on top of that. So the first crucial gank that came afterwards was a little bit of a trick play here by DC, because if you take a look on the map over here, we can see that the other support is actually hiding in the mid lane, expecting Bulba to be there, but because Bulba was bottom instead, this means that the hardcore pressure on Paparazzi forces wand charges, even more mana, and just makes his laning stage really tough. He also did some pressure on the mid lane. They didn't ultimately get a kill out of this, but it's, again, forcing dogfights to sit in the mid lane and to try to counteract what Bulba is doing. But we really don't see dogfights on the Sand King in as many clips as we see Bulba in. This one, the DD with Abed, and they're easily able to kill Cicada. We have another pressure where he ends up smoking very rapidly after Sven showed in the safe lane. This is actually from Bulba's player perspective here. You know, just normal things, looking around, seeing what he's going to do in the future. And they even run into Paparazzi in the jungle. So Bulba was just all over the place. We're only 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes into the game, and he's been in this many kills. No last hits, but you can really just feel the lane pressure, and so did Paparazzi. It was even to the point here where Bulba's taunting him. No intention of killing him, but he's going to force Sven to actually cross the entire jungle just to go grab farm on the other side of the map, which was really, really incredible by Bulba. He played amazing in the early game.
It's just crazy how much he shut down Sven. I mean, Paparazzi, known for his Sven play. I watched like 40 Paparazzi Sven games in a row to try to learn the character, and I've never seen him shut down so hard. I've never seen a game go that poorly for him once.
Abed playing a new hero on the Death Prophet. I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
And his team played really well around him.
I think Forev getting too much farm in the off lane really hurt them. Like the Diffusal Blade countered the Warcry. The Warcry was like their only saving grace versus the Lifestealer and the Death Prophet, but he got it way too early for them to be able to handle it, like way before he got a BKB.
Yeah. I'm super pleased to let all of you know that coming up right now, we have MVP Bulba himself talking to Casey about this win for DC.
I know you can't hear the panelists, but they've been talking up, heaping you praises, saying you're the MVP of that game. So I just want to leave with
I
that.
was just charging people. I just pressed one button.
That's all you did, right?
Yeah, that's actually all I did.
Super simple.
Yes.
No big deal. Yeah. You guys came in pretty evenly matched, the two teams. What do you think ended up making you stronger in the end?
It's live, right? I'm just making sure.
I feel like I should say no just to see what happens, but let's go with yes. It is
okay,
live.
I wasn't told. Okay, but sorry. Okay.
What did you think stand by meant? We're going to wait a few minutes to roll.
I don't know. I thought we were standing by for the last 2 minutes. Okay, anyways.
I would never waste your time.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
so sorry. Yes,
okay, so repeat the question.
The question is, you were pretty evenly matched coming in and between you and IG Vitality. So what do you think pushed you over the top? What made you the stronger team in the end?
I think we just played well. We prepared well as well, which was really good. I don't know. I had a lot of confidence going into this. We had kind of a rough group stages, a lot of close games, a lot of throw-in games. But we learned a lot from it. So hopefully, moving forward, and it feels good, honestly. Like now we actually get to start playing Dota. These best of ones are actually so annoying. I feel so sad for all the teams that lost today. Hopefully, someone from Valve that works here, stop doing best of ones. Hint, hint.
I don't know. We'll pass along the message.
Yeah.
I'm actually talking to a TI5 winning coach. So you have won a TI5 as coach. You built this team yourself. It was Team Onyx before becoming Digital Chaos. Describe how your vision is matching what you're now seeing in reality now that you've got one game behind you on main stage.
I mean, it feels good, honestly. Like TI5, it felt good to coach. But it was like I just felt like I was helping my friends. I just kind of did it because I didn't qualify for the event, and I didn't want to sit at home and be emo all week. So I'm like, hey, AUI, can I coach? I asked Peter, and yeah, so I got the. It was a really fun experience, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from Peter. I learned from everyone on that team, honestly. So I try and used everything to move forward, and it feels good to like finally win a main stage game. It's been a while since I did this winner interview. Honestly, it's been
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
No.
No, TI4, I didn't make it. TI4, we like, again, Valve had a format where like the bottom 6 didn't make it to the key arena, and that was really sad. And we were like on the cusp of like one game being the difference between top 8, and that was like super sad. TI5 didn't qualify, and last year was like, I played the best of 1 match on Secret versus LGD, and yeah, it was a heartbreaker. So it feels really good to get past this best of 1 because I really wanted to play a best of 3 again. Like
I feel so bad. I feel like I'm walking you down this sad memory lane, but you've accomplished so much. Look at you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Like, okay, whatever. LGD or VP is next. You went 0-2 against VP in group stage. So do you want a rematch against them, or would you rather see LGD? Have you thought that far ahead?
I mean, I'm going to see their game tomorrow. I'll reevaluate. I think we were like, it was our first actual game in the group stages. I guess we hadn't, there was like a real like big first land too on this team. With the new team, with the roster switch after Kiev. So it was okay, our first real best of 2. We maybe had some bad picks, maybe some bad play, and whatever. It doesn't really matter. Now it's like all that matters is the main event. So I'm fine playing in either team. Hopefully maybe I get a rematch versus LGD.
Nice.
So yeah.
Be good too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. All right, we'll send it over to you, Machine.
Quite the antithesis of the situation over here, Casey, but thank you so much, learning a lot about Bulba. And he does reference the heartbreak, and that, unfortunately, is what we're about to investigate. I do say I'm joined by Jack, of course, from Jack's Corner, and we did talk a little bit about IG.V and their adventure and their resilience as a roster, and I imagine that's going to be tested in this one, Jack. First question, of course, you get to ask the cliche now, which is simply just trying to understand how they're feeling and what's going on.
就是先分享一下你现在的感受的思想是什么样的。
就感觉阵容没选好吧，然后发挥的比较差。
I just feel like we didn't draft well and we didn't execute well either.
And outside of that, I think the follow-up question is just referencing resilience. You stuck together. You stuck together for, didn't make it to the previous TI. Now you make it to the international. You're on the main stage. That's progress. That's growth. I mean, what's next?
那当然就提起这些，去年你们是预选赛中被淘汰了，没有打进西雅图。那么这次你们是打过来了，也打进了主舞台。那么你们是不是把这视为进步和往前前进？会不会一起打下去？
我觉得能进 TI 还是很高兴的吧。然后之后的事情可能现在还说不好。
Obviously, it's a really happy occasion to be able to make it to TI, and then what's going to happen afterwards, it's still hard to say right now.
Discussions to be had, I'm sure. One final question. It's no secret, sometimes when Chinese teams do get eliminated, they tend to just go home, get it done, and watch from home in the comforts of home. Will we get to see you in the stands, or is it home time?
有的时候就是国队被淘汰时，他们会直接改签或者回国。然后你们会打算留在这里继续观看比赛，或者还是会直接回去？还是你们有什么打算？会支持谁接下的主舞台比赛的？
之后还没考虑好吧，可能要商量一下。然后就希望中国队都能加油吧。
We haven't come to a conclusion about this. We still have to discuss it, and obviously, we hope the Chinese teams do well. We'll be cheering for them.
Sounds like they're going to be cheering for their bros. For now, though, we say one final hello to the desk. This is Super, Shay, and let's get back to some team analysis.
Thank you, Machine, and of course, the heartbreak for IG.V, who've no doubt are one of the best teams in the entire world, who've showcased extraordinary matches and have an incredible lineup. And as Bulba says, it's so painful that 4 teams have to get eliminated in these best-of-ones on day 1. With that said, that there are now 12 teams remaining here still at TI7. And I gotta ask, after everything we've seen today, who are the real standout teams for you?
I think OG played really well. They got a lineup that they really like to play. They have the playmaker on S4, and they got their... I just think that they are the team that's gonna be hard to beat.
You are such an OG fanboy, just all day today. You just won't give it up.
I told you.
Just grasp into those European
So you're gonna
teams.
see tomorrow and the day after. OG is gonna be there.
Man, both your teams in the lower bracket. That's all I'm gonna say.
Peter, let me not ask who you think is the team that impressed you the most, but who are you the most shameless fanboy of here outside of EG?
DC, absolutely. Mason,
there it is.
Mason and Bulba. That'd be so cool to see them win a TI. It'd be amazing.
Especially with such clean execution too.
Bulba's playing perfect right now. I have no flaws in his game.
I love IG. XSS, I've been a fan of him since DAC.
Yeah.
And the Chinese doesn't get that much love, but he is the guy. I just love that guy.
Yeah, I mean, his name is the enemy of commentators. That is such a hard name to say. Just cut off the middle, X, make it XS. I can say that word properly. But his Earthshaker today was insane.
That was the most impressive team for me, was IG coming in and stomping over Liquid.
Yeah.
Just playing incredibly well. It'd be amazing to see Burning, win a TI. He's been around forever.
Yeah.
And he's
been trying for
such
a long
huge
time.
star in China and such an admirable player. It'd be cool to see him win.
And one group of people I want to give an extraordinary shout out to is all the fans who've managed to stay out. Hello, everyone. Hello. It's currently 10:15. Match has been going on since 10 a.m. We've been here since 7 a.m. And Sir Action Slacks is with some fans who've been here all day long. What up, Slacks?
Hello, what up, boys? We had a lot of great teams here at TI. A lot of those good teams have gone home, but you know who hasn't gone home? Are the Dota fans, baby. They're just coming out right now. How about we talk to some of them? You down for that? I don't know if they can hear me anymore. I don't care. Let's go. What was your favorite part of the day?
I got to say the first game of the series of the day with Liquid and IG, where we just had this 3-game series. They both knocked down, drag out. It was an awesome way to start Dota off for the International.
You were here all day from the first series, 12 hours of Dota?
I can't get any more.
My boy, dedicated. Well, favorite part of the day?
The Chinese domination of the upper bracket. My predictions are now ruined.
All right, thank you, China. Thank you for that. Favorite thing?
Oh, I'm disappointed about EE, but I'm glad to see some exciting Dota.
All right, maybe we should have a moment of silence. You want to do an anime moment of silence for EE? I don't know what they do in anime. I don't watch that. All right, what do we got here? Favorite part?
All right, so this is my first TI ever, and I cannot believe that you could rent bikes just to...
Hey, no, this bike stuff. Don't worry about that. Old memes. All right, what do we... Sir, what'd you think of the event?
It was great. First international. Don't even play the game. Watch it, but it was just an amazing experience.
You just watch. You don't play.
I don't play.
And this brought you in. Why do you watch it only?
Just the pros. They're great.
All right.
And I'm garbage.
Okay, well, that was depressing, but thank you for that. All right. And last but not least, sir, take us out. Give us some hype here.
All right, guys. We are at TI7. We've got memes. We've got Slacks as a sexy blonde chick.
Okay. Thank you.
We've got tons of great Dota. And if you're not here tomorrow, go back to League of Legends.
Okay, we'll edit that out. Whoa. We'll edit that out in post. The crowd's hype. We'll see you guys tomorrow for more TI7, boys. Woo!
Yeah, that's a wrap on tonight, right?
That was clean. Actually, you know what? I hope all of you come back tomorrow. Thank you all so much, all of you, for tuning in today. Thanks for all of you for staying so long. Hello, it's a pleasure to have you here once again. I want to take a look at the brackets and talk about the big hype matches for tomorrow. Which ones are you looking for, Peter?
Who do we got playing?
LFY versus TNC, LGD versus Virtus Pro in winners. And down in lowers, we're going to have Team Liquid versus Secret and Evil Geniuses versus Team Empire.
EG versus Resolution will be nice. A little EU rivalry between Team Liquid and Team Secret. But the match to watch for me is LGD versus Virtus Pro. I think Virtus Pro could be one of the teams to make a run at the championship this year.
I think LFY versus TNC can be nice to see because LFY had such a good group stage, so it's going to be nice to see like if they actually show up during the main event as well.
I'm looking for an LGD VP. VP was so close to being in the lower bracket.
Yeah. I know a lot of people consider VP one of the big contenders to do super, super well, and for a long time they were just sitting in the bottom 5, and then they barely popped into top 4. And for me personally, I'm excited for just seeing LFY play anybody. They're one of the teams that just crushed game after game. Even some of their losses seemed like they were doing picks that were kind of experimental. They didn't really necessarily need to win their games. They were 12-0, just stomped game after game after game.
All right. Bright and early tomorrow morning.
That's right. Guys, thank you so much for coming out and watching TI7 main event day 1. We will see you bright and early at 10 a.m. tomorrow for day 2, where 12 teams will remain for the prize pool that has just surpassed $24 million. See you then.